the issue of character. And I bring this up because I just finished Doris Kearns Goodwin's new book on Abraham Lincoln, with all his political rivals. And the insight that President Lincoln had is astonishing. He ran against basically his whole cabinet. And right after he won the election, he brought them all in to serve. And I can't remember which one, if it was Seward in New York or Chase, who was in Ohio. He said, they're the best person, they're the most qualified person for the job. And someone asked him, why are you doing this? They're the most qualified person for the job, and I will not deny my country their service. Now there's a guy who checked his ego at the door and did what needed to be done. The challenges are too great to have these personal spats. Too many challenges. You want to go do that? Don't get in public office and stay home, in fact, because you are poisoning the public discourse that we need to have. And I can't stress this to you enough. We are at a critical time in the country's history. We need to generate a civic enthusiasm to which we all say to ourselves, we need to solve these problems. And all of us need to participate in some manner, some fashion. Through your church, through your labor union, through your nonprofits, business. The Akron Food Bank is here. Whatever it may be. Bring that to the table to help solve problems. All of us, not just me. You know, you can't just elect me and Congressman and your state rep and state senator. Oh, they'll take care of it. That's not going to happen. We need all of you. And you all have a certain talent. Ernest Holmes, the funny philosopher, says, we need more backbone and less wishbone. Step up. Help us. Help us. We need it. We need your talents. Everyone in this room is here because they care in some way or the other. And I know some of you from politics. I know some of you from the nonprofit world. You all care. Keep giving it up. And when you leave here, get some other people to get on with us. Because we've got to do this together. And we need to generate a level of enthusiasm that this country hasn't seen in a long time. Because it's wrong for Cleveland to be the poorest city in the entire country. It's wrong to have 80 or 90% of our kids in our inner city schools and some of our rural schools, 80 or 90% qualify for free and reduced lunch. Now, can you imagine going to school hungry every day? I didn't like going to school, period, let alone if I was hungry and ornery. And, you know, my brother just had a little baby, and he's about 14 months now. And he's just so cute and so funny. But when he gets hungry, look out. And my mom says to me, as only your mother can tell you, you're still like that, she says. When you get hungry. So can you imagine trying to go to school and trying to learn with an empty belly and a lack of parental involvement? And when you think about how things are structured today in our schools, you know, you look at a basketball team, for example, and there's 12 kids on the varsity basketball team in a school, some that have thousands of kids. There are great lessons you learn by playing sports. And why are there only 12 kids out there? Why don't we have intramurals with these kids to play after school? So that they can learn the same lessons that I learned playing basketball and football and many others have learned, of teamwork, of getting along, of getting over yourself, and participating in a team. All those things are very important. And you can learn those through the arts. And you can learn those through sports. And those are the first two things that we cut in our local schools for funding reasons. And so if we want to create a new economy and have people play well together, those are key components, the way I see it. And we don't need to be afraid to say that. It's okay. And the more of us that say it, we will start to participate in the phased transition of our society. And we will begin to move the electrons of our society forward, and we will line them up, and then all the others will move in place. And we will have created something beautiful for our kids and our grandkids. Because that's what happens. our kids and our grandkids are going to look and say, when all this change was going on, what were you doing? Were you trying to hold on to something that was no longer existed? Or were you the one pushing the edge? What were you doing, Dad? What were you doing, Mom? Grandma, what were you doing? When you were my age, were you participating in this? Or were you obstructing this natural evolutionary flow of our species? Bobby Kennedy said, great speech, I do not promise you ease. I do not promise you comfort. But I do promise you these: weariness, hardship, and sacrifice. And with these, I promise you victory. Thank you very much.